Their goal, they say, is to make an immediate impact, and for the second straight week, Animal Recovery Mission, or ARM, has done just that.
ARM's undercover agents say they have proof of what they say is torture on a local dairy farm. The video is so graphic we can't begin to show you the worst of it. But what you do see here from Burnham Farms in Okeechobee County is workers are whipping cows repeatedly. First they use towels, later belts complete with metal rings. What we cannot show you, the force feeding of calves in tiny pens and piles of deceased cows.
If they had witnessed anything like that happening, they would have taken care of it immediately, and they would have no longer been employed.
I am asking right now, as I speak, as an investigator and a person that investigated, in part, Burnham Dairy, I want them shut down for life. For life.
We learned today that ARM filed an animal abuse complaint with the Florida Department of Agriculture, but when inspectors visited the Burnham farm, they did not find abuse shown in this video.
ARM called a news conference to talk about Burnham Farms, but quickly questions and answers centered on the organization's first undercover investigation released last week. That undercover video shot at Larson Dairy Farms sparked a criminal investigation, but ARM says it does not have faith that the Okeechobee sheriff, its words, will do the right thing. News Channel 5's Alex Hagan is live at the sheriff's office with reaction to that. Alex?
Well, Michael, law enforcement say they have 4 arrest warrants for 4 of those employees at Larson Dairy Farm that we saw in that video 1 week ago. But the founder of Animal Recovery Mission, who's responsible for that video, tonight accusing the sheriff of bias in this case. Once again, Larson Dairy Farm in Okeechobee was front and center at an Animal Recovery Mission presser.
Things took a downward spiral once the elected sheriff of Okeechobee County got involved.
This time, the founder of ARM called out Sheriff Noel Stephen, fearing his bias will shut down any real investigation into Larson Dairy. He pointed to this statement made by the sheriff after learning of the Larson video.
I know 3 generations of Larsons that have run this operation, and I stand here before you to say that any one of those 3 gentlemen would not accept this kind of conduct from any employee or anybody.
Possibility of the elected sheriff having personal relationships with Jacob Larson and the Larson family.
When ARM released this video last week showing several workers kicking and whipping cows, Jacob Larson told me he would take immediate action. 1 employee was fired, 2 others suspended. The sheriff's office also announced a criminal investigation. Today, the assistant state attorney told me he has confidence in the sheriff.
We've already done warrants on 4 people.
And does not worry about any perceived bias in this case.
Especially in a small town, it's very common that you know people, but when you're in law enforcement, you arrest people if there's evidence that they commit a crime. It doesn't matter who they are.
Now, Albright says 3 of those Larson Dairy workers, they face felony animal abuse charges, the other one misdemeanor charges. Now, Albright says he wants to meet with ARM investigators to alleviate those concerns about any kind of bias. Reporting live in Okeechobee, Alex Hagan, WPTV News Channel 5.